I really don't want to believe that those words, those insulting words, those derogatory words, those condescending words came from the governor of our central bank, a governor who has broken all laws. Elsewhere, he will be in jail long ago. This governor is virtually insulting all of us who believe that demonstrations are important tools in the democratic toolkit to make a point. And the people were out there on the street saying enough is enough because of your actions. Over 50,000 people have lost their jobs because of the recklessness of this government. After all of this, even has the courage to speak. And he will not even be contrite. He will not be apologetic. He will not plead with the Ghanaian people for forgiveness. He is insulting us that it is hooligans, uncivilized people who go on demonstrations. Myself, I can't believe this, that this governor will utter these words and describe members of parliament in such discourteous, condescending, insulting manner. But I can assure you, and assure the good people of this country, that this governor is not going to get away.
Now, a day after the minority in Parliament led a protest to remove the governor of the Bank of Ghana, a former governor and finance minister, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, is requesting Parliament's leadership to address the central bank's current crisis. Now, speaking exclusively to TV3, Dr. Duffuor stated that the House has the power to address the challenges while maintaining the sanctity of the central bank.
The minority in Parliament has been actively advocating for the resignation of the central bank governor. Dr. Addison has been accused of corruption, malfeasance, and misgovernance. On Tuesday, the minority led a protest to the bank calling on the governor to resign. Former governor of the bank, Dr. Duffuor, requested Parliament to play a crucial role in resolving the bank's issues.
Parliament is a very powerful institution. Parliament can order the governor. They can order the Minister of Finance. When I was the Minister of Finance, I'm going there every year to present the budget on behalf of my president. And as soon as I put the document down, I'll be in their hands. Parliament could say, look, go back and tell your president, we will not allow him to spend more than 80% of this. They have the power to say so.
He criticized the central bank for sending its head of security to receive the petition.
I was expecting that the secretary and the team will be there to receive the minority because the secretary is the face of the bank. And the secretary would have explained to them, I'm here to receive this on behalf of the governors. I'm the secretary. That's our tradition. That would have calmed them down. But for them to meet the head of a security, a petition is what? A formal written request asking you to do something. So how do you bring in head of security to deal with the communication issue?
Let's do some politics now. An internal wrangling in the NPP continues to deepen. Kennedy Agyapong's campaign team has hit back at the Ashanti Regional New Patriotic Party chairman Bernard Antwi Bosiako, accusing him of embezzling public funds. Chairman Wontumi earlier dared to have the Sin Central lawmaker and party's flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Agyapong arrested if he threatened him again.
It has been a busy day for journalists in the Ashanti region, moving from one press engagement to the other. But it all started on September 30, when the Assin Central lawmaker is also aspiring to become the next flag bearer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, launched the second edition of the showdown walk in the Ashanti region, specifically the Kumasi metropolis. Of course, at a rally at the Jubilee Park, Kennedy Ohene Agyapong accused the Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Antwi Bosiako, also known as Wontumi, of using his media house to verbally abuse some leaders of the party.
I dare Wontumi to make a mistake, and you will see men in this country, what the radio station and television station, and what is team paying for them.
Bernard Antwi Bosiako, after 4 days, has responded.
You showdown. Any adeno, and the manintra. Sanyasa now threatening me be a meme. I have footwo and I'm a mount. Because why I saw Ahmed Suri, and money at the swelly as a one,
That will not end the story, because the campaign team of Kennedy Ejapon has also been accusing the regional chairman of embezzlement.
We have on record that there was an agreement in the party, by the party, that the 1 million per constituency that was going to be disbursed. The chairman received 20% of that amount purposely to do party business, specifically to deal with police station officers, constituency officers, and regional officers. We are, by this press conference, calling upon Chairman Untumi to disclose the whereabouts of that money.
William Evan Sinkum, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Let's stay on this particular issue now. And a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante, has suggested that the New Patriotic Party risks dire consequences in the upcoming 2024 general election if the party does not effectively address recurring challenges. Now, reacting to the recent dispute between Bernard Inchubesiako and Kennedy Ejapon, Dr. Asah-Asante has proposed a fresh investigation into the Ahmed Suale case.
The concerns that people have raised about issues of harassment, intimidation, and all that should not exist. And then, of course, there should be also the opportunity for the party to bring everybody on board and let people have a sense of belonging. There is no doubt in my mind and that of everybody that there are crises within the NPP. And through this activity, the party is deepening the crisis. Political parties which is battle ready for election ahead of them are advised not to deepen whatever crisis that they find themselves in. At worst, they should be able to nip whatever problem in the bud and be able to galvanize support among themselves so as to be able to have the courage to invite people to do same for them. If you look at the accusation and all that, issue of attacks, issues of character assassination, issue of exposure of wrongdoing and the rest of them, they are nothing but what? They are exposing the weaknesses of the party. And these things serve as building blocks or building materials for opposition, build campaign messages around them and release them onto the political plane during the campaign. What is going on, if it continues, serve as useful materials. For the security to be able to act on it.
Health Committee Minta Akando says Kolibutsi will appear before the Committee on Parliament.
We have agreed on certain things. One, we have agreed that, yes, they agree with me that it was illegal because it has not come to Parliament, and as it is required by the Fees and Charges Act, they admit it was an illegality and therefore they have put an end to it, but they have put in place some internal mechanisms so that anybody who has paid that amount of money, when he or she comes the second time, probably they will take care of the person for free. They also try to explain to us that the fee they are charging at the moment is not realistic, and therefore we have to look at it for them. We have told them to tell us what really goes into the charging, and then we'll look at what we'll do. But I believe that we must be looking at subsidizing the cost for the people of this country. I think we have to look at it. If we have a population of less than 2,000 people suffering this disease, if the people cannot afford it, it means that they have automatically signed their death warrants. You cannot live in a country like that. We have asked the CEO to appear before the committee in Parliament, and we'll all think through. We'll bring the Minister responsible for finance in, the Minister responsible for health in. We'll all think around the table and see the best possible way out.
Now, away from health, the Electoral Commission of Ghana has announced plans to replace voter ID cards for residents of the Gwan district. This decision comes as opposition parties prepare to pursue legal action of the recently concluded limiter voter registration exercise.
that we'll be giving more information, and the Electoral Commission would be telling us about lessons that they've learned out of this process, so that we would not have issues like this again. Because over the years, we seem to always have issues about the registration exercise, where they are doing it, and what is the institution learning over time, so that they can improve the processes and could be better for the ordinary Ghanaians, because they are not doing us a favor. On the issue of replacement of ID cards for voters in the Grand District, they indicated that by November 2nd, people should go and do their replacement. So you can go to their offices, so that if you registered in 2020, you have to take it there and then you register. Then we said, well, they should look at other modalities. Number one, if the person have lost their ID card, what other form can they use to get back their ID card? Number two, accessibility is also an issue here. How accessible is it to them? They indicated that they will be doing an exhibition of the voter register somewhere November 3rd. So if you're going to do an exhibition, probably it should be done concurrently, so that the exhibition should be closer to the people at the various polling stations. And especially for the people of Grand District, who have been denied for the past 3 years representation in Parliament, the Electoral Commission should have a posture of ensuring that they are interested in the people of SAL being part of this process. So I know that we're given a hearing on October. For now, I think that it will be important for us to pursue it, just to get, because we're seeking a proper interpretation of some of the articles of the law, Article 42 and Article 45. So it will be good to go ahead to establish the interpretation, so that going forward, never again should we go through such a system.
Now, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, has cast doubts on the Electoral Commission's declaration of success in the recently concluded limiter voter registration exercise. Now, according to its national coordinator, Albert Ahing, the registration process was marred by numerous challenges, and preliminary figures reported by the Commission may have not been achieved if political parties had not allegedly transported individuals to registration centers in violation of the law.
About the success of the exercise. Okay. Like they registered at the various district offices, and it's like they were able to achieve the target, or maybe got closer to it. Registered around about 960,000 or so, almost 1 million. So the EC was trying to say that even though they did it at the district office, it was quite a success. I, in particular, was a little bit taken aback, especially when the parties, I think one party was trying to raise some issue. I was taken aback in the sense that if there was any success at all, it could have been the fact that the parties were busing people to these centers. That was even against the law, because you are not supposed to be carrying people to the registration centers. And if, for example, you are in a place like the front place, or maybe in a quite distant place from the district office, imagine you bringing somebody far away to the district center. He didn't register, he had to sleep. So, I was thinking, in my mind, there were a whole lot of problems. The CODEO was saying that there should have been some satellite centers around. If, for example, you are in a district and it's quite a distance away from the rest of the people, yes, you need to bring the registration closer to the people. So you may need to open about 2-3 centers as satellite centers, so that the people will have it easy. If somebody is to take about 3 trotros before he gets to the center, maybe he needs to take 1. And with all these problems, and I'm insisting that, but for the parties who readily agreed to assist, I'm sure there would have been a problem.
Now, less than a week after the reconstruction and reopening of the Dolly Bridge in the Savannah region to traffic, an accident in the middle of the bridge involving an articulated track has left commuters stranded. Vehicles are unable to access both ends of the bridge on the Wa-Sola-Bole Highway.
September 17, flood waters swept away the Dolly Bridge on the Wa-Sola-Bole Highway due to heavy rainfall. After days of struggle, the road was temporarily fixed and reopened to traffic. Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboi constituency, Yusuf Suleimana, after touring the site, described the work as shoddy and a threat to lives and property.
There's a need for some work to be done in terms of filling the middle part of the road, because the long vehicles have passed through it for these few days. It has gone down drastically. It has sunk in, and that is also a threat to commuters, it's a threat to vehicle drivers, and it's a threat to human life. Indeed, some work has been done, as I said, but you realize that if there's any heavy downpour again, chances are that this place will be washed off again.
2 days after the MP's criticism, an articulator truck has been involved in an accident in the middle of the bridge. Commuters from Wa, Sola, and Bole are unable to access the road as they were left stranded.
Yesterday, another truck got stuck here. Look around you, all the people here were stranded. Nobody could travel to Wa or Hamele. We plead with the authority to fix the bridge for us.
Now, on the international front, around 400 people in Egypt have been arrested over riot incidents after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announced that he would run for a third term, according to the local media. Now, President Sisi's remarks on Tuesday sparked a rare display of public anger. Viral social media videos captured protests in the northwestern city of Marsa Matruh. Now, in the footage, people can be heard chanting Sisi out and calling for his decade-long regime to fall. Other videos showed clashes between demonstrators and the police. And that's all for the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. Of course, Roland Nashoko and Bella Mundi are with me in the studio with the rest of New Day. Good morning.
Good morning. How
Mrs.
are you?
the Mrs. Mrs. Brown.
I'm great. And you?
I'm good, thank you very much. How's it going? You know the question I asked you off air.
Oh, it's going well.
Okay. Oh, congratulations one more